ye chenso a church bientia e wo se na de hia won mo atifi mantem wo mo to aba edema no no mo da ne wo machi edema kane mapanyi owura John Dramani Mahama owura Matthew Opoku Prempe wono eno ye running mate edema Dr. Mahama Dubonye na no kuma so kokasa ma na no paye mo kwa me nkroma no eno ne asem o kan ye Ghana fo aka kan bi a kire ne paye nam so ama se die wo pa cho ensem foforo emu no se die ye nenim se enche na ye koto aba enam so ma national chairman ema NDC samuluko no owura Johnson Asiedu enketia ediato NDC fo wo mamu nyina nim se wo musuban ena omo ne ya wonom ebeda ne de no ena betumi aboa ama omanfo ko ado NDC no beka omo nti wo mo nhwe na ototo wo niema eyie abuzafo wei ene ensembia ebi eka ho na editie na edihwe ene aso no sokrogia yede ebramo ewo YouTube so ewo enkran abeka junction Midday ede afia educhumwa mrosa me ena ewie prem to beka sebo no Midday ebramo afi emu ensem ankasa enie Nana Adedankwa Ekufu Addo Ghana mampanyi akasa Society for AIDS in Africa for bo say o manga na bed obetimi bia e de etu babasorefo ya de HIV AIDS ase e wo mayimu.
Ghana is one of the best performing countries when it comes to managing HIV AIDS, and our national prevalence 1.53, less than 2, is one of the lowest in the continent. Mr. President, I like to quickly say that the prevalence is a little bit high, 2.3 amongst prison inmates, 2.5% amongst people who use and inject drugs, 4.6% amongst female sex workers, 12.3% amongst STI, that sexually transmitted illnesses or infections clients, 26% in men who have sex with men, and 48% in transgender women. So these are some of the special groups that usually the national program targets to make sure that they get attention and we are able to reduce their rates further down. The national prevalence dropped for Ghana from 1.68 in 2020 to 1.53 in 2023. New HIV infections declined consistently from 18,930 in 2020 to 17,774 infections in 2023. And it is expected to drop further to 9,020 by 2025. 12,480 persons were estimated to have died in 2023 from AIDS-related illnesses. It's a 70.6% reduction from 2020. Mr. President, we have some key programmatic interventions which are very common. We have the prevention of mother-to-child transmission is still very strong on our activities. We have the HIV testing services, amongst others. I just want to say that, Mr. President, Ghana has been shortlisted together with South Africa, and South Africa has hosted these events twice already. So, Mr. President, especially I would like you to kindly tell the President for the Society to make sure that Ghana hosts it this time.
Fight that we have highlighted, we feel very strongly about, and therefore the opportunity to hold the conference here in Accra will be something that we would welcome very much. That is why we have put in a bid to host this conference. Obviously, the hosting of the conference directs the minds of the entire world to not just to the disease, but also to the location of the conference in terms of our contribution to the fight against. And that is something that we will find very fruitful to highlight. The various other matters that would descend from accepting are things that are straightforward, invitations to fellow heads of state. And I'm happy that so far you are satisfied with what you have seen in terms of facilities and generally the atmosphere and the culture of our country. And we would welcome the opportunity to host this conference.
Amampanyin abedieche Dr. Mahamadu Baumia akasa ede ne ho atoto kane mampanyin Owura John Dramani Mahama ho ama wie no wache de nti a ewo se na dehye a wonom ewo atifi mantem eto aba ede ma ono Dr. Mahamadu Baumia.
Omampania be de Dr. Alhaji Mahamadu Baumia egusu na probomu eto no ho de magana de hye na Ghana de hye age woni na manyoko MPP atum na wasanso ato aba ne biemu de ama wo mo na memu nsemu a wo mo epre ekonkan hi epre wo man no yie no wo mo asan atomu nchini biemu eno na wo kire mu se wo hia nananom ewo etifido apoye mantem ebre ode na probomu kokoduru mu wo honom no ena ode eto nananom anim se nyame anim ne kuranie waye bi yie pa primpuntu apri yoyo ama etifido mantemufuo sine die kanema mpeni John Dramani Mahama kurampo eye yede ma wo mo enti wo mo emsan emfa tumi no ensan fansha ne nsabiemu no bekosoa aprim kunimdie apri yeyo apre kanko ede ama etifedo mantemufuo ama chesa yensen na ho ama nsenkyere ne mapa ene nsakere mapa nso no akoso ewo etifedo mantemu enti wo mo mfa tumi no ensan ensha ne nsabiemu no beye emanioma nyina ayeyi a wo kire mu sa proboyi wo de edrumu wo kire pone saboba no besa akopiem wo mioma eno nso ho nsem odi tuga say.
My father, you know that in Ghana, under our constitution, all the power rests with the president. My main opponent in this election, former President John Mahama, he was president before. I have not been president before. I am vice president. But John Mahama cannot point to one project in Chereponi. I can point to many projects as vice president in Chereponi. So if as vice president, I've been able to start many things in Chereponi, as president, I'll be able to finish many things in Chereponi.
Regent Eba Miom Gonlana Alhassan Abdullahi Mahama esanso de nsem ni biemu eto so wo kire mu a wo se se wo hwe adwumaden ene osompa frankatufuo ema MPP amanyokuo Dr. Alhaji Mahamadu Baumia osanso emampani abede akire abo ewo amemmo we yase a kire ni nso ka kire wo se vice president ya wabo adwuma pa ewo oman Ghana ya bakwasem no eye mampani abede akire Dr. Alhaji Mahamadu Baumia wo mso an wo soro ese Your
Excellency, having watched your performance as Vice President of the Republic, I've seen a lot of potentials which cannot be swept under the carpet. Your sterling qualities and most effective leadership is undoubtedly unparalleled by any Vice President in the history of our democratic governance. You have played key roles in major projects in Eastern Gabon, which the Myong traditional area is part of. I remember the speed with which you attended to our appeal for a police vehicle to beef up security patrol along the Sambo stretch of the Tamale-Yendi route. Mention can also be made of the Tamale-Yendi-Tatale road projects, as well as the Agenda 111 project in Myong, which has achieved a speed of progress compared with similar ones in other areas. These and many schools, health facilities, and rural electrification projects are contributing to ameliorate the suffering of the teeming masses of rural folks in communities dotted all over the Myong traditional enclave. I wish to thank Your Excellency profusely for these timely interventions.
And now Dr. Matthew Opoku Pempe no running mate Emma Dr. Mahamadu Baumia no wakasa ye wo Kumasi Asante Mante no pakakra ni nyina mu no na o kasa no kasa momo Kwame Nkrumah no sa semi o kan na Ghana fo papa eme na Ghana fo nso anfom ho ankyerem se Bra Matthew se mu ade ampa ye kan yo momo Kwame Nkrumah no sa na ye kasa wo makro ne papa na no na Dr. Matthew Opoku Pempe ede krata ba bonten ene na ni se nyina mu no se wanya na dwen da ese wo kasa ede agu Ghana mampani odi nkan osagefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah hu fin da na wonye bi kura nso da ene wan kasa se bia wo digu empanyufo mabeso mo mai pense mampani nso hu fin eno nso wontimi nya kura da na emom no na wɔkasa de akyerɛkyerɛ nana adanko akufo adomɔdenbɔ na no wɔde toto aman panyimfo a wɔde mababa som ɔman yi ɛpɛn ho ɛna saa nsɛm no ɛkɔbaa mu na deɛ ɔka nyinaa ne sɛ wɔno no wɔbu adeɛ ai ɛno nti wɔde anidie ɛne wɔbu ɛsɛfata de ma mpanyimfo a mabɛsom Ghana sɛ mampanyin pantitru Dr. Kwame Nkrumah ɛna afɔ no ankasa ne wɔfa a wɔsan ne mentor Owura John Ajokum Kofo ɛno nti no deɛ ɔkaeɛ no asa Ghana fo agina no asi bɔne na mmom na wan nya adwenbɔne so kra na ɔde kaeɛ ɛno nti krataa mu nsɛm bɔne nyinaa atɔfa wɔde akyɛw pɛ mu odu ɛna ɛma Ghana fo nyinaa sɛ so wankasa yi a momfa ne bɔne nkyɛ no ai wɔso ɔno ankasa deɛ asi no wa regret sɛ kyɛ sɛ wɔnu ne ho papaapa ɛsan sɛ anyɛ Ghana fo nyinaa de na wo no obi di agorɔ so na ɔka sɛ watia ne naso a na wɔso ɔpa na kyɛw ɛma sɛbi abufo no nyinaa te kɔ ɛno nti Dr. Matthew Opoku Pempe ejina UTV from Tubeka Sebo so pa Ghana fo nyinaa kyerɛ sɛ wankasa yie momfa nkyɛ no na wasade atwa to sɛ nya de ebi besi biemu ai wei Dr. Matthew Opoku Pempe running mate Emma MPP presidential candidate ɛna de kratai aba ɔno ankasa ɛde ne nsa ahyɛ ase yet wakase bono eso national chairman Emma ND Samanyoko no Owura Johnson Esiedu Enketia wakasa dia tudwa se enche na afi abato no ebedu so eno nti wo dia to NDC akitafo nyina nim se wo ma won suban enye kama won suban enanso e wa foforo mu na no kwa campaign kese a won betumi ade wo musuban aye atwe edom abeka NDC efo.
Let your light shine around there and people will see your good works. And as again Alhaji said, today Alhaji made, he was in his element. The most powerful campaign message is your own conduct in the society you live in. It is not because you are a Muslim or you are a Christian or you are anybody or you carry any title. If you are truthful, people will believe you and come around you. If you are generous, people will come around you. There are things that you do that will win souls for any cause you embark on. If you go there, you are Magagia and you are in the Zongo community. The life you live there, how you are prepared to share the little you have, how you are prepared to assist people who are in trouble, how you are prepared to sit around people who are bereaved and advise them. Even if you don't mount any platform to say, Eyezu, Eyeza, still people will know that this is what Ajia wants and they will come around and vote the way you want. So you have a tax. This is the first time we are having a complete structure to handle our Zongo communities. You are going to be the salt in the Zongo communities. But as the Bible says, if the salt loses its taste, it is worthless. So go and maintain your taste and then attract people, and then we will go back to where we were in the Zongos around 1992, 1996. It is possible. We've done it before. Somewhere we appear to have taken Zongos for granted. As for these people, they are already with us. So let us go and convince the other people to come and join. In the Bible, they say that if you have 99 and you have 100 sheep and one gets lost, leave the 99 on the desert and go looking for one. I have always been saying that that is for the Bible. In politics, you need to keep your 99 and make sure you will not lose another one. Because if you decide that let me leave the 99 there and go on, by the time you come back, you'll be holding one. All the 99 will be gone.
And no, actually, Ora Johnson is here doing Ketia to us to just say, Obo on more when this year when you call him so what's not here at train so be your position and sana while you're Jumadin at your boy Econo was it and no in Chaye Odihun Yao.
Since we have leadership positions, a choice would have to be made one way or the other. But I want to plead with you. The positions that we have given you, they are not rewards for work that you have done or some recognition for work that you have done. They are tasks that we are assigning you to go and do. So if you are within our Zongo caucus and you are not given an assignment to go and do, it doesn't mean that you have not been recognized. Because the structures we are forming, just look at what anybody can contribute. And then you bring the person in to contribute that so that it can carry all of us forward. I am the leader, the chairman of NDC at this stage. But if NDC is going into some games involving boxing, I'll be looking at Nima or Bukom to find a strong person. If you put me in the ring and say, because you are the chairman, you are the one who must be in the ring, do you think I will survive? I will not survive. You understand? So, but the fact that you put somebody there to go and fight for all of us to win doesn't reduce my chairmanship. Because he's going to achieve the results for all of us to celebrate. So if somebody is called to perform a certain function and you are not called, as Alaji said, you don't need a title to serve your party. You don't need a title to serve your party. Wherever you are, if you want to serve your party, you can serve, and that service will earn you your own name, whether you have a position or not. When I was in Parliament, because of the work I did, I was not majority leader, I was not minority leader, I was nothing. But I worked and earned the title General Mosquito. So even though Honorable Bagbains and Ajay Mensers and the others were leaders there, it will be difficult to pass anything through that parliament if you don't get General Mosquito on board. You understand? But it is not a title. Today people think that it was because I was a general secretary that I was called general. It has nothing to do with my general secretary. It was a title I earned in parliament because of the work I did, single-handedly, in a lot of cases.
I was for you at work as a bono so IGP ni tape na eliki ye no mrasebe dwafie chiame ononyam for aban baben ede at 2:00 or wo mrasebe dwafie ni say offer copy enkoma omanpanyin.
In punishing people for their absurd positions and their illogicalities. That's my concern. That's why I'm saying that the whole issue of conspiracy falls flat. They were conspiring about nothing. They were just addressing their own phobia. They were addressing their own illogicality and their absurdities. Why should he engage national attention? That's my concern. Now move on. I've even shown you by data that even you can appoint an IGP and lose an election. I think they should minister to us. And an IGP who was appointed by the consultation of the president and was signed, the signature of the president appointed him. Now we should give an IGP a constitutional tenure so that when he's on collusion course with the president should come and divulge national securities before a court of competent jurisdiction before the individual is served. This special IGP, I don't know how he has entered into the imagination of some people. I don't understand it. That anything they drop on it should go. You do not just listen to people who come before a committee and that will bring you to a conclusion of the matter. You delve into the matters. A committee of parliament is not a conveyor belt. The conspiracy of COP Mensa, Superintendent Asari, and Superintendent Jebi to remove the Inspector General of Police from office to afford them the opportunity to break the 8 to the level of our criminal jurisprudence. And so the submissions the chairman has made is a misrepresentation of the facts, a purpose to distort the content of our report, and should be expunged from the record with the greatest of respect. We did not elevate conspiracy in this context to the level of our criminal jurisprudence.
When we are assigned responsibility, it is important that we find a way to work together, even try to address our differences, because the people of Ghana are waiting to see what the outcome will be. So, Mr. Speaker, let me thank the members that the leak tape recommendations that they brought will go a long way to avoid the fears we have. And they are genuine fears. They are not fears of people who basically were throwing tantrums. They are real. Can you imagine senior police officers who, when you take off their uniforms, are wearing political party colors? How biased they will be.
A certain impression was created in some of the submissions that perhaps the government that appointed the IGP is against the IGP. Mr. Speaker, never. This government can never be against its own appointee. We all know the reforms that we are seeing at the police headquarters. We know the work of the IGP. But of course, he is human. Some may disagree when you are bringing up reforms in your own institution. People are used to an old system. Definitely, there will be some who may be against you. In the system, the way we appoint heads of institutions are political. So at any point in time, there will be people who will say they are also MPP. They want to create an impression of political correctness to win the favor of the appointor.
You have concluded the debate. I now put the question. Those in favor of the adoption of the report of the Special Committee of Inquiry, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The report is accordingly adopted. I can only direct that the clerk to Parliament should make available a copy of this report, which has just been adopted by the House, to His Excellency the President as Chairman of the Police Council for any further action they deem necessary.
Also for Shenyumefo ne apadie nsem hodo so no nyamfo Ignatius Bafo awu akasa memu no de atodwa say Snate omo hotels na wo mo eton ha mu nchemu adu 60% no wo so hwan hyehye ya wo mo de ye adwuma me kire investment objectives no eso a wo mo mfomra bia so mbeton.
Yes, we can arise to ask the Minister for Employment and Labour Relations the policy objective of SNIT the policy objective of SNIT divesting itself of 60% shares in the hotel in the airport investment portfolio.
Mr. Speaker, the policy objective behind SNIT's decision to divest 60% of its shares in its hotel investment portfolio aligns with the primary goal of the scheme. The primary goal of the scheme
is to provide monthly pensions and related benefits to workers in Ghana, ensuring their retirement income security. SNIT's decision to divest is also supported by its founding and investment objectives. As a partially funded defined benefit scheme, SNIT aims to ensure adequate funds are available to pay member benefits in both the short term and long term. In terms of investment objectives, SNIT has statutory and fiduciary duty to invest the scheme's assets responsibly and prudently. This involves long-term growth at a reasonable price and income generation. In pursuance of these objectives, SNIT has been implementing the following strategic measures: rebalancing the investment portfolio, increasing investment in fixed income, decreasing equity exposure, exiting or restructuring non-performing investments, improving performance of investee companies, enhancing corporate governance and setting corporate targets, improving the non-performing loan book, restructuring underlying investee companies, monetizing real estate projects, completing and monetizing ongoing real estate projects, including those in joint ventures, enhancing commercial property portfolio performance by improving the performance of commercial properties. Mr. Speaker, SNIT's decision to divest 60% of its stake in the hotels is not an isolated decision, but part of its broader strategy to improve investment performance and ensure the long-term sustainability of the scheme. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Ghana Hydrological Authority, one and the United Kingdom Center for Oncology and Hydrology. One aka bondo nsa ahye entiase apam asia one ebeboa ama wahawa wudo man ehia ebiti se ensuyire meche flooding ena afin so ewiem sakraye climate change ene ekom ne ade no wo mu atumi atu ase.
UK Center for Ecology and Hydrology woman a disa initiative we nyina no animu a womo eboa se ne be National Hydrological Services for nso no womo ebemu womo ehunhu informations ahodo bia no a efa ensuo ensem ho ene kwan ya befa so anya nsunsuaso nso ewo eyebosomi a edi animu nyina no na ese womo de ato abontinti we na beboa ama apamfo ahodo womo keka ka ho nyina no womo nso afasa anamontuo ne so anase eye information ne so na womo de abomo so womo dwumadi ensem na eye ewiemu sachire bobere nsem a ye prese enkonkonye nsunsuaso obone ewo yensa asesem so de atwa ye ho ahia nyina no so no yetimi e de ahwe eho brabo. UK Center for Ecology and Hydrology womo echiremu a womo abie eye womo office baako ewo my Ghana hanu West African office no eno wo my Ghana hanu mo eno womo ene apamfa wodo no aka bomu a ene womo hwe edi dwumaso sei no womo de abua Dr. John Kisi eye chief executive Oma authority no na okasa ye edefante asepam we nyina ho ene mfaso ye benya ede afrimu a wode ensem no atudwase
ye no mo a wo free UK bae no adwuma wo ye wo Ghana ha say hydro ye wo mo aye ache papa na wo mo aye bi wo wiase afa na nyina enti je ba wo aba Ghana he wo mo de nyimdie bebre a wo mo ede adwuma wo bebia wo mo no wo mo de ebeboa ye adwuma ye afin so no wo mo akodare wo nyakwe broni kwesi because research and you omo akodare wom yie enti senia ye ne omo be ye adwuma no be ma ye nsoso no ye nya sa efiahunu a omo no na aboa ye adwumaji a ye di wa ha eto so biom so ye ne omo be ka bom na ya ye funding applications ana bo ne be ka no se ye betumi aka ya adwua bom na ka se sa project we ye ya be boa Ghana enti yenka ye hu bom na fi na no yenka ya adwum bom na ye ntro funding application ye challenges bebre ye juma bebre so senior wonim no ye coastal protection works 8 ongoing projects from the west coast to the east coast ye guso ye drains ejuma so bebre and ye hydrology ye collecting data our river bodies and also eboa ye juma dia ye di irrigation hydro power generation even supply water ye no me eni na ejuma ye no eboa saa dwumadie no nti sɛ deɛ kasi yɛn sika bebree de ayɛ dwuma yi sɛ yɛn sika no po na sɛ yɛtumi yɛ drains akɛse nanso yɛnsesa yɛ suban na yɛkɔ so de regu bɔla no mu a wɔsi yi drain deɛ nanso na bo area ayɛ mu ma nti nsuo no bɛgu mu a still no ɛbɛ overflow na kyerɛ sɛ akɔse flooding nti mesrɛ mo mba yɛn na yɛn bɔ ho de ro na yɛn nyinaa yɛnsesa yɛ suban na ɛmboa na afei dwuma yɛdie no ɛfa so deɛ ɛwɔ ho na ɛmbrɛ ɔman yi.
Already have a deep partnership with Hydro going back quite some years. Both Ghana and the UK sadly are affected by floods and droughts regularly, and it's incredibly important that both our nations and nations around the world have got to be able to plan even better for these events, drawing into account climate change or changing technologies or changes in urbanisation. All of these are having a huge impact. We've also got to be ready to deal with them when they happen. Now, for operational agencies like Hydro or the Environment Agency in the UK, it's absolutely critical that they've got science and data both to inform their forward planning but also their operational responses. And that's what this MOU is all about. It's going to enable both nations to share their data, their science, their technical skills, and ultimately if we can do that we can make our planning and our responses better and save lives.
Efidi djuma unimdie ICT asese de aban ede emadodo no a eremu no yenya ne ntiyese enkra hanko a emayo makomako empim dumiensa ahankunu ede otwe baako ena omadi nkan enya emu emfaso.
Onumunyamfo Esla owusu ekufu echiremu se omayo madwen se omune mpanyufo ahodo ene nnwumaku ahodo no eba beka bom se de be ya se dwumadie yi ebetimi agina edisuade hu na esi omani so ene se afi bia omwantete maya akora na nye maya 9000 mpem 9 ewo ICT adesuam kane no na nka ye maya 3000 so se die omo apejem kosoro no de atodwa se girls in ICT program dwumadie yi ebegina pa dia ewo se wo esomubi na bra mo the girls in ICT program dwumadie no ebe awieye no de nsami atudwa emaya hodo ba apem enomakwa akwaje ntitiye yi bi na ekowi ase no yebo bibia baso ebimu nya laptop ebimu enya ICT laboratories a ICT ho niema ahyemu mabe ebi nso nya ska ena ne abasobode opemu no koma no so enya akonya so bekwa akwaje ntitiye ewo US abrochimemu
Ushe emaiwa na ho keka eniji omwenya emfaso omwenya free training ayede ma wona wotwe pena enti ne metumi aka kire won ne se omonkoso a practice ya ma won laptops ebinum ya ko run wo ICT labs wo schools use knowledge na ye de ama won teacher kire yen se kakra no mo ehunu so mo so ani aso enti erana oba afa Selina no omo de ne be kwa America as part of the training nsoso nsoso support omo nso e de ma girls in ICT initiative
amagidi wo Ghana mine enti meka kire omo nso se omo nsu ade na omo so mbeye part of sa program meka kire ne se ye danase na onye mo Emma Maiwa omowo Ghana mine.
Cybersecurity service nyumaku ahodo a wonum enni tumi krata so moye adwuma na so moye adwuma no nyane ntiyese Cybersecurity Authority for the atodwa se enche wo de safori nyina din ebeba da obon krata mabu okora ebecheche wo mu akokot akobo mu kwadu.
Cybersecurity Act 1038, Act 1038, Parliament passed in 2020. A mandate authority no say regulate cybersecurity system. A new area. Internationally, obia take steps. Awareness creation about policies about emra. Intina Ghana Parliament passes cybersecurity. But because a dynamic area. And a science security area. As I say to me, EMRA and the guidelines we ma more pretty or the area no. Two objectives. A mass sector and develop in a way. But best some Ghana ecosystem no ya protecting. So that is the main reason to our parliament in their wisdom pass the legislation. To authorities no, the is operationalize the law. Now, why this license? The service providers be ASH will be at the bank and as institution we from so but show me IT system mommy very sensitive data protection issues or sensitive information or institution a surgeman as I say who says I institution and yet just qualify technically but also a bit of background checks information near the ansana a friend's a clearance and sana why they was necessary information because very intrusive send a jumana or koyo hono their friend is a pen obey totally cybersecurity service providers are more are registered going through the process for their license more than 200 cybersecurity establishment or more labs near the are more registered to go through the process more than 50 the cybersecurity professional individuals are more registered to go through the process are more than 1,000 and move 51 and then away. This is the first group. The Emrano HRS only license Untimina Cybersecurity Services. So the law is clear on that. As we start this process, we take key enforcement actions. So even one register class or provide this cybersecurity service and your home website so advertise all your cybersecurity service. Now your license the law will take its course against you. But then we will also industry and we will publish the names of Oma Cybersecurity Day service and so Omni Day license to caution the public as well. So we have a mandate to protect the public. And also account. So there are both different strategies I take it to ensure there is a full compliance to this. Right.
Okwanche for Penya Wada National Lottery Authority ano Orasami Ewuku Akasa de atudwa se free senior high school hihye asese kane mampanyo Ra John Dramani Mahama epes wo jefa no na ada akese
Samie Wuku a wo primary shebedwafia konya ewo Akuapem North ama MPP amanyokuo no ekopiemu ewo miamia hodo a omotro bees nsohwe no ewo Akuapem North mainsinimu ne ho enodi tu dwase eye ne nwanwa bebre se mampanyin dada John Dramani Mahama a wotu franka ama NDC amanyokuo no kase free SHS eye ntoaso suku mu famekwa no eye no ne de baaye wo se Ghana ha ntoaso suku mu famekwa de eye MPP aban ene de baaye afe 2017 a obi anim mampanyin dada John Dramani Mahama enyanye wo kana kura na akoye se free SHS no ejina yenti ena opese odebo ne ho asafo hene osenya de omo bepene ne kura nto besre se Ghana de hye emma obi amfa ne okan no enya asem
eboa won emra obi rise am won tene me ba me so bi ekwa ne ma set am de ma no obi aso so ani age and they've assured me say they will make me proud and I'm confident they will do that. Nanado the free SHS nanado ne MPP aban mo friends so say wa se wan brabo ase we BC abebi o hwe ni so obeko senior high school in the senior high school is so no yenso ye ahobo ase nanado wie na ba mi aso ba ye besa ato aso what to about my NDC no Ra John Mahama o ba on betwa free senior high na de wugidi because president Mahama na kan mra no te akonwa so say no the over dead body no the free senior high school beba osan so kan sign down say free senior high school best say your mind chenya de say be nay NDC for some no free senior high na obi anfa Ghana for adwemo nkro yenso ye bechirim obi ehu NDC for won su no won ban e ba won sem a wo kekeken bi menye ni so say Ghana ni bia wo ho na o ti ase obeka cho say NDC for no the free senior high ba me Triton was sponsor advert in 38 against the free senior high school policy in 2016. So Ghana for J yen promise to ye buy so ye deliver on that promise.
Ofanko ensewom kwan a aban eya eja omama Ghana fo ni afechiri wo ho osa kwan no so saa no adwumaku a wonom eye a ene Maripoma Enterprise Limited. Wonom dia to dwa se wo ma hyase a wo mugu kwan no so asphalt. Adishia one more Asbrad and no ewo weja gbawe empesua no eso wonom ade atodwa say wo mo kwan a access bebrebe nyina no ejina sese nso a etoto na ama eyiri efa ekwan no so no.
Few engagements here, and during campaign most of the residents raised very critical issues with reference to development within this area. And number one requirement or request they put before me was the need to have drains, because normally when it rains there is a bit of flooding within the area, and then the subsequent construction of a road. So by God's grace, I, together with the municipal chief executive and some few constituency executives, made efforts in reaching out. I have met with the Minister of Works and Housing on the Gary projects as well. In fact, as at yesterday, he called me. In fact, today, if I leave here, I'm going back to the Minister of Works and Housing. And he's been with the numerous support of the engineer and the MC, that they will table and tell you that, look, in these areas, we have too much problems with flood. So there's the urgent need to construct storm drains. In fact, if you do not mind, within the shortest possible time, I'll share with you the list of places we are supposed to have storm drains constructed. And let it go out there that no assembly member, whatever, whether tall or short, should claim that he or she, in fact she, is the one pushing for a storm drain to be. In fact, in recent times that the MC together with myself got the barley, the kokojo, desilted, dredged. It was the same thing. And then you have some residents association executives who are also partisan, and then they all go out there and then they also twerk it in a manner that will suit them. Please, with all due respect, nipa ya dia osayi unyi na ya mensene de
oba ashbed ya eba na kwan de ya bren wi papa nsuto na eba ya dem ne ade ade nyina but nyina mu no lawyer Jerry Ameshayi eba ya mantama be share bo se o me MP de na nso no kakra ono betimi aboa na ye ho han no obeye etino juma ekoso enenti ene ye ho na eti se waba ha se tinya ye fe ni die se ye ba na ba be hwe ni ekoso wa se ha na nkasa ye gates no insan se nso no to a etwifa ha nyina enti ama gates ni no ma eko spread ko enkofo dem enti ade a ha wa ha se ye papa ekwan na kasa so se gates ni wodi a ye definitely ekwan no so ebefa ekwan no so enti ekwan ni na be se ebe basa enti sisi a o ye gates ni adade e hope se o gidie se ebetimi aboa ama se na nso no etetre ko kwafifim na ekwan se no ni nyina to bi.
I was on for good nsam na edru so ye twe ho abasisia.